Richo, today the LNP made a decision which is that Labor goes last everywhere. I hate this decision as much as you know I hate the Queensland government. I think the Greens go last everywhere. I think that more Greens or a chance of more Greens in the parliament is more devastating. But clearly the estimate here is that if they can somehow suppress Labor's vote, push it towards the Greens, a couple of seats might go here and there. But philosophically, how do you feel about Labor going last in every electorate on an LNP ticket?
Well, I don't think it's very smart, but whether it's smart or not, it also doesn't matter very much. I can't get too excited because these are preferences that won't be counted. I mean, it's symbolic rather than having any real effect. And as a symbol, I don't think it's that clever because when you look at the platforms of the Greens and the Labor Party, the Liberals have much more to hate in the Greens than they do in Labor, much more.
Well, I would think that both of them should be putting them last, don't you think, Nick Cater? But of course, Labor won't be able to do that for all the obvious reasons and mathematically the case. But let's talk about the importance of Queensland here, right? Regional Queensland will decide this election. Basically, the vote has been maxed out in Brisbane. There's a little bit of a change on the coasts, but the margins there are pretty healthy for the LNP. So Labor coming off in the regions means a potential repeat of what happened at the last federal election. How important to you is the result of what happens in Queensland?
Well, I think it is very important, and I think I think Anastasia Palaszczuk's announcement last week that the royalty deal with Adani, she didn't have to do it now. Nobody at Adani knew when she was going to make that announcement, but she's made it now, and that shows that she really is concerned about what's happening up in country Queensland, as Matt well knows. But it is a very important election for me because I just think that poor governments, bad governments, need to face the consequences. And this has been an appalling government, both in terms of the debt that they've run up, which is just outrageous, the number of public servants they've employed. I mean, great to give people jobs, but not in nothing jobs. And this closing of the borders, which has just been terrible for the Queensland economy, as you know, and particularly around those border towns where you've been, Paul. So I just think that there's a principle at stake here. Leave aside who the opposition is, but poor governments need to face consequences or they'll keep behaving like that.
Well, as I say, flush this mob. I'll give you the domestos. Richo, you and I can argue about that for the next month.